Fistful of Dollars, where no, this is a great iconic character and this is a mythological take on the West that we want to see explored in bigger and bigger canvases.
This is the 50th anniversary of Fistful of Dollars, and a lot of people use that occasion to say, oh, it's the 50th anniversary of the birth of the spaghetti westerns. Well, it's definitely that. That goes without saying. But from where I'm standing, from where I'm coming from, to me, it's the 50th anniversary of the birth of what we now call modern filmmaking. Every action director, every director who ever used, as opposed to using score as background movie music, but to put it up front, any director who ever cut his movie to the piece of music, to the actual notes, to the cymbal crash, and boom, I'm gonna make a cut, which was not done before. Any director who ever did that, any director who ever took genre pieces and actually had the grandiose idea to present them larger than life, that started 50 years ago. But you can't say, as in some ways, Fistful of Dollars is one of the great auteur pieces of all time. But one of the things that makes the film so great, that while you have to cross yourself every time you say Sergio Leone's name, when you talk about it, you must also, with the exact same breath that you use to say Sergio Leone's name, you have to sing the praises of both Ennio Morricone and Clint Eastwood, a great director's two greatest collaborators. And the proof is in the pudding. The way we think of Morricone was born 50 years ago with Fistful of Dollars. The way we think of the Western icon that Clint Eastwood has become for 50 years straight to today started 50 years ago with this movie. And you need no more proof than to watch his big introduction scene when he kills the Baxter's men right at the beginning, with one of the coolest badass fucking speeches in the history of action cinema. That is why a hero was born that day. Now, I got something to tell you guys. If you only know Clint Eastwood from the last 20 years, since he's been an old man, you don't know Clint Eastwood. He was one of the sexiest motherfuckers during this time who ever existed. That's another thing Sergio Leone brought to Westerns. Western heroes weren't sexy before Leone. Sergio Leone changed that as well.
Roger Corman, Mask of Red Death. Are you a fan of that movie?
Yeah, The Mask of the Red Death is my favorite of the Poe movies.
Even more so than Pit and the Pendulum.
Yeah, the other one, I'm a big fan of Roger Corman. I'm not the biggest fan of the Poe films. They seem too set-bound. They seem too creaky. They seem too dusty, with the exception of Mask of the Red Death. I'm not a fan of Gothic horror. I'm not a fan of movies about the guy or the woman that lives in the castle and there's the painting on the wall, and the painting on the wall is what's causing all the thing. As much as I'm a big fan of Roger Corman movies, I'm not a fan of his Poe films. I think the exception to those Poe movies is Mask of the Red Death. Because one, he's not using Floyd Crosby again. He's got Nicholas Roeg as his cinematographer. He's got Nicholas Roeg as his cinematographer. His visual scheme was able to explode on Mask of the Red Death. It doesn't look cheap. It's not set bound as the rest of them. Lots of extras. He's able to kind of explode his visual sense, and he probably has the biggest budget he has on all of them. So his whole, I think he shot that in England. So the entire style is exploded by the time he does Mask of the Red Death. And that's actually quite horrifying, actually. I think that actually was probably, at least for what Corman wanted to do, I think it was his biggest budget. The Secret Invasion might have had more money for that. But compared to the other Poe movies, and Vincent Price is playing much more sinister and realistic than he is in the other ones. It's as far as the Vincent Price performances in those type of monster movies, not the fun ones, but those type of monster movies, it's there is performance in Mask of the Red Death where he's just, you can't believe how sadistic he is. It's Price's sadism that's horrifying, not the Poe stuff. It's just the fact that he's such a sadistic ruler is what's terrifying. But now to go through the scenes of graphic violence, why they're shocking or why they're exciting, is to do them a disservice, because you're divorcing them from why they're so effective. So I wouldn't want to just go through a laundry list of this sequence versus that sequence versus this sequence versus that sequence. However, one that I do not feel bad about highlighting, because it's the opening scene of the film, is the opening of his television remake of the movie The Killers with Lee Marvin.
And Clu Gulager.
And the great Clu Gulager, right, that you used as well in
Picture Show.
Last Picture Show.
Yeah.
And the thing about it was, aside from the fact that the characters seem to predate the Blues Brothers, they're walking around in their suits and their dark glasses and their pork pie hats as they go about doing their job. The way the film starts is they show up at an office or a school for the blind. There's a blind receptionist on duty, Mrs. Olson from the Folgers coffee commercials, no less.
God.
Okay, is playing the blind receptionist. And they immediately start terrorizing her. They start terrorizing this older blind woman. And it's shocking. It's just absolutely shocking. And what it does, and this is what Siegel has been known to do, the shockingness and the surprisingness of the violence rivets your attention for the rest of the movie.
It's true.
From now on, the movie has your attention
Because you don't know what's going to happen.
because of that sequence.
Yeah.
Now, at a certain point, I think it gets mundane because it switches its focus from the killers to John Cassavetes' Johnny North character, which was pretty mundane. But I think that's a problem with a few of Siegel's movies, where his antagonists are so drastically more interesting than his protagonist
Yeah.
that you have divided loyalties. You're resentful that the movie's not about Lee Marvin and Clu Gulager. That's who you want to see.
That's true. Look, it's called The Killers. Why are we watching this?
Well, yeah, why are we watching Johnny North?
I don't want to talk about what you want to talk about. I don't want to talk about what you want to talk about, because I'm here to sell my movie. I don't want to talk about what you want to talk about. I don't want to talk about what you want to talk about. I'm shutting your butt down. I don't want to talk about what you want to talk about. I don't want to talk about what you want to talk about, because I'm here to sell my movie. I don't want to talk about what you want to talk about. I don't want to talk about what you want to talk about, and I'm shutting your butt down. I don't want to talk about what you want to talk about. I don't want to talk about what you want to talk about, because I'm here to sell my movie. I don't want to talk about what you want to talk about. I don't want to talk about what you want to talk about, and I'm shutting your butt down. I don't want to talk about what you want to talk about. I don't want to talk about what you want to talk about, because I'm here to sell my movie. I don't want to talk about what you want to talk about. I don't want to talk about what you want to talk about, and I'm shutting your butt down. I don't want to talk about what you want to talk about. I don't want to talk about what you want to talk about, because I'm here to sell my movie. I don't want to talk about what you want to talk about. I don't want to talk about